So this is the long version of me and my friend Irene here in Xalapa, who I had met in El Diamante, and I liked her sense of humor, and I didn't have much Spanish, and I mostly was a bump on a log, and she does not attempt to speak in English, really. She's an accomplished person, an accountant and everything, educated, but really not that much into English, but she knows how to use a Google Translator. So I made contact with her when I got up here because I had caught her looking at me at that little family gathering way down in El Diamante. I've learned how to take sneaky photos over my shoulder where it looks like I'm looking at something out there, but I'm actually doing a selfie over my shoulder, and I captured her staring at me, and I thought, yeah, she's interested in me. So she was. So I contacted her when I got up here, and she was going off to LA. The family in El Diamante have a very limited worldview. They're 2 hours from Veracruz, but they don't really see any point in going to other places because they think El Diamante is everything there is, even though it's a 400-person pueblo that it was sweet and safe, really safe, and beautiful countryside around it. And everybody greets each other. They're all really sweet to each other, and they learned to be that with me because I was there for 3 months with my car being repaired. They kept finding out more and more bad things that I couldn't afford to have done. I poured lots of money over 3 months into the car, and finally they replaced the engine completely, which was super expensive. So I was poor the whole time I was there. And at the O'Reilly restaurant, they would let me run a tab when I ran out of money and then settle up at the end of the month. And Erica's tienda across the street the same way. She's part of the family. She's the daughter-in-law. Everybody knows each other, and everybody knew the gringo in town. Because in my 7 months in Mexico, I've traveled the East Coast along the Gulf of Mexico, heading for Veracruz and then out to the Yucatan. And it's all been places where American tourists don't go. If they want to go to Veracruz, they'll take a cruise there or fly there. So it was nice because they weren't used to Americans, and Americans had not ruined them on being interested in Americans, because Americans tend to be so ignorant and boorish in Mexico, not really learning the culture or even wanting to. And my Spanish got a lot better while I was there. So I decided, well, before I go way out the Yucatan Peninsula, let's run up to Xalapa, which is the capital of the state of Veracruz, and very sophisticated city, 600,000 person town. And then El Diamante, they were scared of 60,000 person Martinez. They thought that place was horrible and dangerous, which it wasn't at all. It was not dangerous at all. But it was not friendly like El Diamante, so it seemed foreign and dangerous. People were in a hurry. They wouldn't make eye contact. They wouldn't talk to you. And Xalapa is even more like that. It's a big city. But it's got places like this that are really lovely, and I've been hanging out here because my car still needs more repairs. Brakes are bad, and it's so hilly, it's like San Francisco on steroids. So I've mostly walked down the hill to the Las Trancas business section, and little by little I've learned to take cabs, places, and buses. And my friend Irene lives in the centro of Xalapa. It's the downtown. And it was a 20-minute cab ride and cost 80 pesos, which in US dollars is like 5 cents, something like that. And we had a coffee date. And I knew she was busy, and I thought she'd probably give me 45 minutes. But we really enjoyed each other. We were having a lot of fun talking. And at an hour, she said, well, I probably ought to get to work. And then an hour later, we were still talking. And along the way, I found out that she's been single for 14 years, not with a man for 14 years. But I knew she was interested because she went to LA to meet a guy she had been exploring online. And I still haven't heard what happened with that, but she's obviously still looking. So, but along the way she says, yeah, I'm really happy being alone. I don't want a man in my life trying to control me and tell me what to do and limit me. And I said, through the Google translator, I said, well, you need a man who won't control you and try to limit you. And she said, there is no such man. And I, kind of bold and really intrigued with her. She's really very attractive and interesting and fun. And I said, sure there is. Me, I'm like that. Because didn't I already tell you, don't try to tell me what to do? Nobody tells me what to do, and I don't do it to other people. So she was hooked. And along the way I said, I'm not looking for a monogamous relationship, but I do love the company of women. And she didn't seem to be bothered by that. So I thought, this is good, we're on the right track. What I did not know was that in her mind, where she went was, oh, we'll cure him of that. We'll get him over that. And she was kind of horrified by the notion of me traveling in a camper van. She's real middle class and has to have a shower every day, go out clean. And I had really cleaned, because I knew that, I'd really cleaned myself up. I had gotten a haircut and got my beard trimmed and shaved and put on my best clothes. And so we went for a walk afterwards. She took me up to there's a very beautiful park up on a hillside that you climb way up above the city, and there's views of all of Xalapa. So I went for a long walk up there, and I was smitten. Like, whoa, we're into each other. But I did not know, and she had said, you ought to get out of the camper van, get an apartment, they're cheap here. I said, well, I gotta do all this car repairs maybe next month. But I got interested in that. Well, Jesus, if I got an apartment in her area, apparently she doesn't want to have her apartment be the little love nest, but I could create one for us. And so by the end of the day, she got back to me and said, I went to my aunt, she's got money, and she's ready to bankroll an apartment for you. And I thought, wow. She knows I'm not going to be here forever, that I want to get to the beach. My vision is to live somewhere out in the Yucatan Peninsula, the Mayan Riviera, because I want to swim every day. I love the ocean. I want to be in the water every day. And she knew that. So when she said, I'm going to get you the money so you can have an apartment, I thought, wow, so we can have a fabulous little love nest for her. And she said, how long are you going to be here? And I said, Xalapa's a fascinating city. I hate the weather. It's rainy and dark compared with all the other places I've been along the ocean. So I don't want to be here forever. But I said, well, as long as I'm having fun, I'll stay here a month, 2 months, maybe a year. And she seemed happy with that. So I thought, yeah, good, 8 months, 9 months, maybe a year, we'll have a little love nest, and I'm full of love. And she would not only get great sex, she would get a lot of love and end up feeling way better about herself. What I did not know, that came clear in a WhatsApp text, long couple hours of texting back and forth last night, was that she was going to get that apartment for me, not as a love nest for us, but as a place where I could progressively get out of the camper van and lose that craziness and get even cleaner, because she thought I still looked like I had just come out of a camper van. So even though she had said, I don't want a man trying to limit me or control me, what we both realized last night was that she had a master plan. She saw me as the potential that if she was patient, she could turn me into a man who would be the kind of man she was. And when she realized I wasn't interested in changing, I wasn't going to give up my non-monogamous style, and I wasn't going to give up my plan to eventually get to the beach, she said, well, then we're not on the same page. And we're not. But because we really accepted that, okay, neither of us tried to manipulate or control the other person, although she wanted to big time, but she saw she wasn't going to get away with that. We ended up having a lot of fun on the phone, and we just shared with each other about our lives. And she is very funny, and she's great with GIFs, GIFs, these little emoticons, moving emoticons. Oh, she had so many funny things she put up. And finally I said, well, you know, okay, we're clear. You want a long-term dating that would lead to a partnership, at which time we would be able to have sex. I bet it wouldn't be good anyway. I bet it would not be good because she's obviously not that much into sex. She doesn't want that. She wants a man in her life. So finally, just goofing around just to play, I said to her, okay, so it's clear we're not a match, we're not gonna fit, we're not gonna get from the other person what we want to get. But maybe a week, you know, because I'm not gonna stick around now. If there's nothing gonna happen with you, I'm gonna take off in a month when my car is repaired and I have some more money. Maybe a week. What if we had a crazy affair for a week and I can give you some great sex and lots of love and you'd be happy, you'd be happier. And so I sent it off, and a couple of minutes later a beep came out on the phone that indicated she had sent me a message. And I was standing in the back of my camper van pissing into a cup, which was not information she needed to hear at all. And I said to myself when I heard the beep, I said, this is going to be a good, clear, solid no. Definitely not a yes, and almost certainly not a maybe. So I opened it up and she said, no, no. And she put up an emoticon, a gif of a monkey with a stick whacking another monkey. Whack, whack. I thought that was hysterical. I told her how hysterical it was. So we stayed on the phone for a little longer, texting. And then she said, well, it's time for me to go to bed. But right before she got off, I said, now, in the United States, what a black guy might say to you, and I did the intro all in Spanish, but I said, I'm just going to leave the English and you can look it up if you want. He might say, baby, baby, think about it. Baby, baby, please, baby, 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 baby. So I had a lot of fun with that, and I don't know if she bothered to translate it. But it was a good experience because we both had a chance to explore what we want and negotiate with another person and see where it worked and where it didn't work, and have the other person be fine in their differences. Oh, and along the way she said, I would like to go dancing with you, but it would not be as a preamble to a night of lovemaking. And what I got was, she could teach me how to dress for the discos here. And so if I had a couple $100, she could take me out and buy me an outfit that would look good at the disco, because I don't have those kind of clothes. And then we could go to a disco, and she's really beautiful. And she said to me, you are really, really handsome. And my picture is that if you just got out of the bath and had some really great perfume on you, and I guess maybe they call it perfume here for guys, you'd be spectacular. So I said, we'll go to the disco, show off how hot we both are, and have people fantasizing what would go on between us that night. And if other women wanted to dance with me, I'd give them one dance and come right back to you. But we'd make a plan in advance at what time you want to turn in for the night and grab your taxi. And if a woman was really interested in me, I could say, stick around at 10:30, I'm free. Then maybe we will. Maybe we'll do that. That could be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Okay.